Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday, y'all. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday. I had a great Monday. I hope you guys were able to catch my Monday motivation, which was really to parents of special needs kids that are still in the school system. Um, and I've been talking about that a little bit throughout. Hey, Tutu. I've been talking about that a little bit throughout this corona. Um, with that being really one of my main concerns is that kids either on the autism spectrum or those with Down syndrome who are in special education, be it they be part-time in special education, part-time in regular education, many of these kids are falling behind. It's hard um, for the parents to do this without support. Because a lot of like I can think about like when my son was in school. He had speech therapy. He had adaptive PE. He had occupational therapy. All that basically happened when he was at school, except for the speech therapy. That was the one thing that we, had as a non-public service outside of school. We had additional. But like a lot of our kids need a lot of one-on-one education. And it's really hard to do that over a computer online for many of them. They don't have the attention spans. And I'm really, more concerned about the ones that are like in, your primary education, which is really the core of the education. For most kids, they do have a better attention span once they get to the high school that are special needs. And but I know that some of the ones that are in high school are also struggling, depending on, you know, what kind of help they needed in the classroom. So that was one of the reasons why I put out the motivation today, because I really want, the parents of kids that are younger to be encouraged. I know this has been a rocky ride. I mean, most of us, for the most part, have been at home or near home since at least March of this year, and it's now getting towards the end of October. And that can be maddening for our kids who really, really need that social interaction. Many of them start to, fall off of some of the social skills that they've learned. So it, it it becomes frustrating for a lot of the parents. So I just wanted to put that out there this morning, and I constantly, really trying to motivate um, other autism parents that don't have adult children, to fight through this, get through this, and people who are neighbors and know these families to be part of their village during this time. Sometimes, you know, the parent may need you to do something, like they've got a number of kids and one of their kids has autism. they might need just, just a little break so that they can do something just with that kid. And if you're home too, and obviously we're talking about social distancing, maybe you can help them out with, some social distancing activities for the rest of the kids. That's just one idea. But I just wanted to put that out there this morning. I, um, if you watch the Today Show, they talked about it this morning also on the Today Show. That this is one of the areas that's really of concern. Well, the thing is that they're offering some things what they can online, but certain things you can't do online. Like it. I don't think they can do speech therapy online. I mean, they try with the therapist being, you know, on a video, but it's more difficult. Certain certain services. Now, right now, my son's getting no services as an adult. We're about to have his IPP, which is what he has with the original center, and we're going to be discussing when these services might be coming back, because this is awful for him, and it's hell for me. Let me just say that. um, he's just like falling off on everything, and I know whew, it's going to be a job to get him back on track on everything that he needs to be on track for. But I'm going to do it. I'm I'm doing, I'm trying to do some things now. I'm trying to set some stuff up now that I can do with him, even if it's not, every day, but just some things. And then I'm looking into some, programs that he might be able to do that are going to help him with some of the socialization. And, they're talking about that there are some peer-to-peer groups that are meeting online through Zoom meetings. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. But in the meantime, we do what we do. We make sure everything is how it needs to be. And just try to keep him on track as much as possible. As much as I possibly can. And, hopefully, sooner than later, he'll have services again so that he can get a break from me. So he can get a break from mama. Hey, misunderstood. Okay, misunderstood. I understand, sweetie. I'm just glad that you're here. I've been watching your uploads, sis. So one of my favorite programs started back up today. The Voice. Love The Voice. Um, I didn't really watch American Idol as it went through, COVID. But I did kind of watch the journey on YouTube of the one who won on a, on American Idol, Just Sam. That girl is phenomenal. I mean, her story. Um, I don't know where it's going to take her, but I was excited with some of the talent that came on The Voice on night one. They had this one guy, this black guy, who is a world-class opera singer who is in the competition. He is in the competition because he wants to cross over to do jazz. And he belted out this jazz song. I can't think of who that male singer is, but there was a male jazz singer that had like a high voice that sounded like a woman, but um, that's the kind of voice this guy had. His name is John, and he is going to be on John Legend's team. He's from Texas. I do know that part. And he said that he had the honor of singing opera at some of the concerts that the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg had gone to, and they even showed a picture of him with her, and we know that she loved opera. But so far so good, with the voice. I love the voice. My only issue with the voice is that no one who has ever won on The Voice has ever like come out and become this big star. Whereas on American Idol, I mean, one of the judges on The Voice, Kelly Clarkson, one of the judges on The Voice UK, Jennifer Hudson, went on to big things from American Idol. And then you have Carrie Underwood. Yeah, you have Fantasia and you have Ruben Studdard, but they didn't really blow up like, your Kelly Clarkson and your Carrie Underwood. They got big, but they didn't get to the height of someone who didn't go through a competition. So I'm hoping that maybe this will be the season that someone will come out of this voice with, that's going to be promoted right and make it. Because they've had some phenomenal singers on there, but none of them ever make it really, really big. I mean, do you guys remember Chris Blue? Dude, and I mean, before he was on The Voice, he was, he was the worship leader at his church. I mean, and if you go back and look at, stuff that he did prior to that, as far as worship, he's beautiful. But we ain't heard nothing from him in a minute. I'm just saying. Nor the other dude, Jordan, the one who came on there and did that Lady Gaga song as his song when he came on the show, who also won. Another one. So let's just hope that it gets better this time. As far as, or they start to promote them better. Because see, like, I like the way that they did rhythm and flow, and how they didn't tie D Smoke into a contract. And y'all, he's out there doing it. He's got out his latest video called Resurrection, which is an ode to black mothers, especially his own. I mean, I'm pretty sure the song that he did, Black Habits, is gonna probably get nominated for some music awards. And I like how they did that where he was, obviously, his whole family is musical and he had already been in business and all of this stuff. But he'd been in business for years, even had an ASCAP award. This show, did what it needed to do for him. But the thing is that when you have these other shows like The Voice and American Idol, it's it's just different because these people are brand spanking new and they don't really guide them on how to be properly promoted. I'm hoping they're going to do it different this year, like I said, with the Voice. But that's my only issue. That's my major issue with The Voice. I'm also looking forward to seeing The Masked Singer this week. A lot of people think that Tina Turner's on there, but I think that that's Cyndi Lauper, and it's not Tina Turner. The popcorn on The Masked Singer. Yeah, people are predicting that is Tina Turner, but I think it's Cyndi Lauper. Could Tina Turner be faking a New York accent and making her sound like Cyndi Lauper? She could, but I don't think so. And I'm not saying that the show is, that Tina wouldn't be on the show, but I'm just saying that since we've been in the middle of COVID and this was shot during COVID, and we all know that Tina Turner doesn't live in the United States, that it's probably not her. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think where does she live now? Does she still live in the UK? Is she in Sweden? She's somewhere over in Europe is where Tina is. Tina's not in the United States, so that's why I don't think it's her on that show. I don't think she flew over during COVID to do the show. I just don't think she did. Call me crazy, but that's my thoughts. I know I didn't share myself out today. Let me go share myself out like I normally do. Yeah, I just don't think that's her. If maybe if we weren't in the middle of this, but with the flight restrictions and everything, and people aren't exactly coming over into the United States from Europe because we have the highest rate of COVID in the entire world. I don't think so. But the clues that they've been giving do sound like Cyndi Lauper. Does sound like Cyndi Lauper. So, that's my guess. But last season, I don't know how those people didn't know that was Candy Burrs. I just don't understand how they didn't know that was Candy Burrs. I knew it was Candy Burrs the entire time. I was shocked that she beat out Shaka and Dionne Warwick. I'm surprised that, Shaka didn't make it further and Dionne didn't make it further. But I knew that was Candy. Just like I knew that was Adrienne Bailon the season before. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any clue as to who the other ones are. I knew that was Buster. But yeah, I don't have any clue who the son is. The son can sing. Hey, DOD, came back. Yeah, cool. I know you're up in the clouds doing whatever. Because I come on so late. But you guys, today I verified. Well, I verified my son's registration, and come to find out they had inactivated his registration, so he had to re-register. Because today was the last day in California to register. But I made sure that he is in there permanently as by mail, and I made sure that they had his correct mailing address. So everybody in this home is registered to vote in this here election, y'all. Let me see. What does it say sounds about white? I don't know what you're saying. I must be missing something in the chat. I'm trying to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Okay. Yeah, so David is, you know, going to be forever a mail-in because now you guys, of course they sent us all out the mail-in, but y'all know I'm going to a voting center, right? I'm going to a voting center. I'm voting in person. I just need to make sure that my son is able to vote by mail. But as soon as he gets his ballot, his mail ballot, I'm just going to take it to one of the voting centers and drop it off for him. I don't trust the post office either. Did y'all hear? Here in California, okay, so they have like ballot boxes around, and there was a ballot box here in Southern California that somebody set on fire. So now the LA County Register's got to figure out whether the ballots can be used or if they've got to figure out whose ballots were in that ballot box and have these people re-vote. See, that's my problem with these random ballot boxes that are being placed all over the place. That's my issue with those. I don't know if they're doing that in other states, but that's my issue with those random ballot boxes. Because somebody set it on fire to purposely mess with people's right to vote. Set the freaking box on fire. I think it was I want to say it was in Baldwin Park, California. That's exactly. So that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, DOD. But I guess they can see, some of the ballots in there, so they're going to have to see what they can scavenge from there so that they can alert people of what happened to the ballots. This is what's going on, you guys. People are setting ballot boxes on fire to keep people from being able to vote. But I already had an issue with the random ballot boxes. I don't know where this one was. I think it was. I don't know where it was. They should have put it in front of a police department or fire station. That it wouldn't have been set on fire then. But they said it wasn't full, but it doesn't matter. It could have been 10 or 100 votes in there. That's just insane. But this is the depths that some people will go to. And I believe that, my opinion, whoever did it was someone who wants to keep 45 in office. And they're afraid that, that the votes weren't for him. But I'm sorry, stop this. They need to have security or something around these random boxes. Because this is going to happen again. It's going to happen again if they don't do something. And the voting centers, at least here in California, don't start opening up until Saturday. And that's the specific ones that are going to be open like a long time. I'm going Saturday. I'm voting on Saturday, the first day. The closest one to me, there's like, it's weird. Because I live like in the area around Inglewood. What's interesting is that they have some voting centers that are going to be open in Inglewood for like that long period from the 24th all the way up until November 3rd. But then surrounding cities, not counting LA, but some of the other cities around don't have voting centers that open up until the 30th. So this is like in the South Bay area of Los Angeles. This would be this Inglewood, and I think Gardena, but like Hawthorne, Lawndale don't. And I'm not sure about Torrance. Nor do they have it in any of the beach cities. So all the people that live in all of those cities are going to have to go to to Inglewood or to Gardena to vote if they want to vote before the 30th. On the 30th, all of the voting centers are open. That's how LA County's doing it. But like I said before, I'm going on the first day. I don't care that they sent me my ballot in the mail. I'm still showing up. I've validated that you do have me as an active voter, so you should have no problem allowing me to do it on that freaking machine. My son will do the mail-in ballot. I don't know what my dude is going to do. If he's going to, I don't know if he's going to go in person or not. But yeah, I did the touch screen in March. I know how to work it. I'll be okay. And the touch screen ones, I think you can have, if you have on the latex gloves, they still are sensitive enough that they can feel your finger if you're doing it with your finger. But most of them have like a little thingy. They have the thing, you have the option of either or. The pointer thing or, so. But y'all, it's about to be on. It's about to be on. Please protect your right to vote. If you live in the state of California, if you have not already gone, go and check your status to vote right now before, Now, from what I understand, you still are able to do a provincial, people are able to still register to vote all the way up until election day with the provisional ballots at, the voting centers. But I would just check to make sure that you're in there as an active voter. Because my son was not in there as an active voter, even though he was registered. They had inactivated him. He didn't ask to be inactivated. I'm like, it's not like he's old or anything. He's gonna be 25 a couple of days before the election. So why would you inactivate his thing? Because it's like he didn't vote a couple of years, even though I re-registered him when we moved. Get out of here. But it's okay. It's corrected now. And I just know that from now on, every year I'm going to check to make sure these clowns have me in there correctly and have my son in there correctly. We're not going to have this. I think I think they start taking people off when they don't vote. Now here's the wild thing. I had to continuously ask them. I asked them. It took them 3 years to take my mama off after she died. Every year I would be like, can you please take her off? She's deceased. She's no longer voting. What else do I need I said, do I need to bring in her death certificate so y'all can take her off the voting roll? But they happily took my son off for no daggone reason. And so you have to watch that stuff. Because, with disabled people, yeah, you have to watch them. Because that's a violation. That's a violation. All he has to do is say, I want to vote, and he can vote. That's the rules. If he expresses a desire to vote, then he has the right to vote. He expressed a desire to vote, so therefore he votes. And this is what I was telling somebody. I'm like, autism has nothing to do with his intelligence. I'm like, if people who have Down syndrome or who have what you call other developmental disabilities, what they used to call mental retardation, which is a horrible term for it, can vote, so can my son with autism. Because the law says if he wants to, he can. He can read the ballot. Doesn't matter if he doesn't read it to you. Blind people can vote. You see what I'm saying? You just have to be telling you. Gotta watch these people. Especially in this state of California, which is famous for gerrymandering. Yep. I just want to see what's going to happen and what's going to happen to the districts and how stuff is aligned after this 2020 census. I want to see what happens. you know. Um, as far as I believe, I don't know if anybody, I don't think people are still doing the census. I think now they're at the stage where now if you haven't done it, they're going to come and harass you. And you may get a visit from somebody to your home. Trust me, I did it and I still had several visits. I finally had to show them my confirmation that it was done. So they would leave me alone. Don't worry, y'all. Looks like I'm one of those people who the census workers always, I've always had them come by me. In all of the censuses that I've been involved in since I've been in this state. Now, I've only been involved in, this will be the fourth one. Yeah. The last one in 2010. The one before that in 2000. And in 1990. Prior to that, I was not in the state of California. But I did participate in census, or I think I did. My mom did. My parents did. You know what I mean? But these are the ones where I was the one who filled out the census for families. I included my mama on several of those when she was here with me. Rest in peace, mama. And it was interesting because the first time that I did the census as an adult, I had to choose whether I was black or Hispanic. So I chose other. Or no, what did I do? No, I checked all the boxes. Aggravating for them. But nonetheless, you're not going to tell me, you know, that my race and ethnicity don't count. So by the time 2000 came around, because you know, in 1990, yeah, that was, I think 1990 was the first one where we were calling ourselves African American, because the one before that we were black. I'm sorry, y'all. And so by the 2000 census, it was by then that they started to make I think that's when they were starting to make the distinction where they recognized that some people who are black are also Hispanic. You know, and you know, unlike the rest of, you know, we should be able to have that distinction. You know, because everybody else who's Hispanic says they're white. You know, except for us. Except for us. I like black better too. African American just, here's my thing, okay? I really don't care what people want to call themselves. But African American just seemed more like we were trying to assimilate to what every other, you know, group does. But in all actuality, Africa is the continent. It's not the actual country that our ancestors came from. So that's my problem. You know, am I Nigerian American? Am I, you know, Sinhalese? You know what I'm saying? American, Ghanaian, that would make more sense. But, we're just now starting to some of us are pulling to find out what part of Africa. And I'm, since nobody else in my family's going to do it, I'm the oldest. And my dad and my brother literally is the last person that's going to have to carry on the last name in my dad's part, because he had a girl and my sister and I are the ones who had the boys. Nonetheless, unless he's got some son out there that we don't know about, but I don't think so. So I really probably would want to do that thing and do it on my dad's side of the family. Find out where they're from. Now, I know my feelings will probably get hurt and, and find out. And I might find out that there's more white in us than I want there to be, but, it is what it is. I still want to know. Because I really, I know the white parts. I want to know the African parts. But I'm just deciding which one I'm going to trust with my DNA. You feel me? Hey, Miss Mahogany. How are you? So yeah, I'm thinking about doing it because, the one thing, like for example, there's certain things that I know are not in my family. Like on either side of my family, we do not carry the sickle cell trait. And I know there are a number of blacks or African Americans, whatever you want to call us, who do carry that trait. Now there are people in parts of my family that carry, but it's like it came in from somebody else marrying into our family. Because I've got first cousins that carry the trait, but it's because it's in their mama's family and not in their daddy's family, who is my mother's brother. So I mean, but I just think I should probably do it because my dad's not going to do it. The doctor, he ain't doing it. But I think I should do it so that we can fill in some of the blanks while he's still here. Because, y'all, my dad's 81 years old. And bless God, bless God, bless God, bless God. He is healthy, happy, and in his right mind. But I know that I need to get that information, that we need to have that information. Somebody's got to make that step. Like on my mom's side of the family, there's been so much digging. I've got cousins in both branches of my mom's father's, my mom's mother's. Lots. We've pushed we know our family all the way back to France, so we know the white part. My mom's family, but we need to know some stuff from my dad's family. Like I kind of know how, the Cuban part ended up in the United States because there was, I found that out, when I was on Ancestry.com. There was some ship called the Excelsior. And that's where they came over. Because, yeah. So, just thinking. Just thinking. I think it's gonna be. I think someone needs to know. I mean, I don't need to go through it as far as the health history and all that stuff because my family's pretty good about that kind of stuff. I know all about the diabetes on my mama's side, the high blood pressure. I know that we don't carry the sickle cell in our family. So I know those kind of things. So I don't need, that 23andMe, whatever they're doing with that stuff. But we'll see. And I might be brave, like uppity unicorn, and I may share with you guys on here. I might. We'll see. But I think when I do get the information, I think the first thing I'll do is share it with my sister and my siblings, because whatever it says for me, it's the same for them. You know what I mean? Because we have the same parents. So therefore, although there may be different distributions of DNA between the three of us, our ancestry is identical. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like my mom's father's mother was from the Caribbean. She was from the French Caribbean, and she spoke French. And we know that there was some French in her. And then we know that there was French in my mom's mom's family too. I mean, my mother's grandmother on the 1910 census, these ignorant people called her Frenchie because she spoke French and she was French from the French Caribbean. I mean, trust me, I saw it with my own eyes. That's the one, I'm telling y'all, that's a wonderful thing. Be glad that we fill out our own censuses now. I think like in previous censuses, I would put my middle name, and in this census I decided not to, because I just decided not to. I'm like, it doesn't matter. The rest of the name is the same. The date of birth is the same. My descendants will be able to find me. See, that's another thing is that the census helps people, your descendants will be able to look up some of their ancestry through censuses. Because we that are here in America have lost the oral traditions of Africa that many of the countries that our ancestors came from. The oral tradition has been lost. Some of us, it probably, I would say for many of us, there probably was an oral tradition, where people would tell things probably up until our grandparents' generation, maybe one generation out of slavery. But because of how our ancestors would have been shipped around from farm to farm to farm to farm to plant, you know, that kind of stuff. But the good thing about those censuses is we can find our family if they were actually counted on a census, even if they were counted as property. Isn't that sad? Our ancestors were counted as property. But here's the funny thing. The funny thing is that they counted them, you know? They didn't count other property in the census. So isn't that interesting? So somewhere in the back of these, you know, racist people's minds, they knew we were actually humans. You know, they knew it. No matter how much they manipulated the Bible to make us think we weren't in it. When in all actuality, it is they who are not in it. They're nowhere. Well, no, I take that back. They're in the book of Revelations. If you want to talk about the prophetic in the book of Revelations, they would be in there. You know, when you talk about the modern Babylon and the modern heretic church and all that stuff, yeah, they're all in that. But if you go to the Old Testament, we are all in there. We're in there. The brothers and sisters in the Middle East are all in there. Oh, even people from the Far East are all in there. You know, like, where did the three kings come from? The Far East. You know what? My grandmother was born free, but she was born on a plantation. My mother's mother. She was free, but she was born on a plantation because her parents were sharecroppers. She was born on a plantation in Louisiana. I want to say it was the Morning Star Plantation. Yep. I told y'all like almost the entire town of Letcher, which is, somewhere outside of Baton Rouge. Almost that entire town, my family. And I've only been there I think I went there like a couple of times as a kid. But I got so many cousins in Letcher in my Facebook friends that I'd say a couple hundred of my Facebook friends on my personal Facebook page are cousins. And they're my mama's family, my mother's family. Now I've got a lot of first cousins. There's 20 something of us. But this is, the extended family. Because my mother was one of 11. Her mother was the oldest. you know. And she had a bunch of brothers and sisters below her, and then all of their kids, and then my grandfather, he had, you know, it it's very interesting in my grandfather's side of the family. My grandfather's side of the family is interesting because part of my mother's grandfather's the line that my grandfather came through were not slaves. But there's a part of that family that were slaves. But the part that my grandfather, they didn't, they were, yeah, they weren't. Because they came from the Caribbean. But I got a part of the family that's like in the Midwest, Oklahoma and everything. Yeah, there were. And then I have a part of my grandfather's family that is white. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's, you know. Because, I mean, my grandfather's last name is Irish. You know. And although the Irish did not own slaves, you know, like on the East Coast or in the South, go out to Oklahoma and places like that where there were also slaves. You know, because people took their slaves with them. And then, the Indian part of our family. Yeah, my grandmother was born on a plantation. Um, she was the oldest, and my great grandfather became a minister at some point. So I do not think that her siblings were born on the plantation, because my great grandfather started as a sharecropper, but he didn't end up as a sharecropper. Like I said, almost the entire town of Letcher, my family. Oh, in Florida, it's so funny because there's so many. I have family. My Floridian family is like in Pensacola. I have family in Pensacola. That's on my dad's side. Speaking of Florida, did y'all hear about Flo Rida, the rapper, um, abandoning his special needs child and calling them an, an evil child? I haven't read much into it. It popped up in my recommendations on YouTube, but I will be listening to it. I will be watching it, and I'll be coming back to y'all on that. But if that, in fact, is the case, that's a low. That's low. Because there's a few people in the industry who have kids. Who, I don't know if this kid has autism or has something else, but it's probably autism, because usually when they're talking about special needs, they're usually talking about autism these days. But I don't know. But I know, like, Music Soul Child. has a son with autism. His son that he has with the singer from the group 702. Their son has autism. You know, we all know about Tony Braxton's son Diesel, but Diesel is like high functioning. Shaka Khan has a nephew. You know, Tisha Campbell, her oldest son. And I mean, if in fact his child has special needs and he's calling his child evil, what the F is wrong with this man? Yeah, who? I'm trying to think. Whose channel was it? Whose channel was it on? I can't remember whose channel was it on. I don't want to say because I don't want to say the wrong. I don't want to give credit to the wrong YouTuber, to the wrong content creator. But once I go investigate it, because once I go find it on that one, if it in fact is something going on, I'm sure I'm going to find more about it. But yes, apparently he's abandoning his child with special needs. And that's not a man. You know, I mean, I just don't get it. I do not get it. But I will be getting more information about it. And if I find out some information about it tonight, it might be my morning minute tomorrow. I'm just saying, y'all. Y'all know I don't like hearing stuff like that. Especially when it's somebody who should not even be like that about their kid. I mean, it just aggravates me to no end. I mean, that's to me like that couple here on YouTube that rehomed their son with autism. And you haven't heard like nothing about them in months because that lady lost all of her sponsors. You know, he done gone and hid himself over in auto detailing, hoping that the world will forget about them. And I think she has some other channel that she's, you know, trying to make money off of with her other kids, but nobody's going to forget what you did, lady. Nobody's going to forget it. I'm just saying. But anyway, guys, let me come on here. Let you all see me because I'm about to get off of here. I will be back on tomorrow. 50 Cent endorsed 45, told people, you know, 50 Cent, Ice Cube. Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys. I'm going to say this on camera. Y'all got to see me say this. So, Kanye West, my hair is like all over the place, is on the ballot here in California. Yes, he is. He's somebody's vice presidential candidate. I'm not sure who it is. There's David. Say hi. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, Kanye West is on the ballot in the state of California. I don't know if he's going to be on the ballot in your state, but he made the cutoff here in California. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about the qualifications to be a president in the United States. It's really not that much. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and blessings from the West Side. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Mañana. Peace.